Nick Royer back with you again today, and today's topic, fuel, filling up, the pain at the pump. It's not a real good thing, and however, is it something that maybe you should worry about or panic over? That's what we're going to talk about today. Now don't forget, hit the subscribe button right below me here, and we're going to get right into this. So the other day, I'm getting ready to leave town, and I took both cars to get fueled up. And yes, I was kind of nice. I fueled up Kim's car and I fueled up mine. I was trying to be nice, but I didn't really know what I was going to get into. So again, I fueled up both of our cars, and they were pretty much both low, empty, when I filled them up. So it cost me a little over $60 to fuel both cars. But that wasn't the totals. That was each. That was close to $120 in total. That actually didn't even fill up because I reached a certain level that I just had to cut it off and not do any more. You know how that is, right? So now this is nothing new, right? I mean, my neighbor filled up her Escalade at cost. And I think it was like $120 for just that one vehicle, for just that one Escalade. So I guess I shouldn't be complaining that both of mine almost full for, $60 each. But, I've actually had clients switch from an in-office annual review to a virtual review because of the price of gas. So it's really affecting us in almost every way. So what are we going to do about gas prices? Well, I wouldn't panic at this point. I know it hurts, that's not good, but chances are pretty good that fuel prices should drop in the future. When? I don't know. But from current levels, there's a good chance it will drop. There's a reason I think that. Because we have the fuel. Energy prices are not set the way most people think they are set. In other words, energy prices are not set the way most goods and services are set. They're based on the futures market. Well, hold on. What's the futures market? What's that? What's the futures market? Does that have something to do with Marty, Doc, and some DeLorean? No, it doesn't. But it is very complicated, just like Doc Brown's flex capacitor. Remember that? So I'm going to give you the Cliff's Notes version here. The futures market, it tries to predict what the price of oil and gasoline will be way out there in the future. And the price of energy is tied to that. And I could go into why that is, but it's more than what you want to really know. So let's stick with what time it is instead of how that watch is made. Here's the reality. While there's always an issue of supply and demand, the reality is we have plenty of supply at this point. Our energy prices spiking really started happening well before the war in the Ukraine. We heard about energy from the government, changes being made, prices started to rise. What's all that got to do with the futures market? Well, the government's stance was less favorable towards fossil fuels, and the markets, out there, the futures markets took that as the perception that production is going to have to go down in the future. Not necessarily right now, but the key word is the perception that things could change in the future. And as a result, prices went up. I mean, it wasn't happening at that moment. It was a reaction to some future expectation. It was pretty much the same supply until we had the war, but it was the perception, and therefore you saw the increase that we've been seeing. The truth of the matter is, fossil fuels aren't going to go away. I believe policy will adjust and adapt in the future, and with it, the price at the pump will adjust as well, hopefully lower than it is today. That's why I'm giving you kind of my crystal ball thought of what could happen in the future. So getting back to this issue of what you should do, I would say not to panic. Rather, I would say to plan. So what should you do? Don't panic, rather plan. understand that really over the course of your life, the cost of gasoline, when you factor in the cost of other things, hasn't really grown that much out of proportion. It's just highly erratic in how it works. I mean, we aren't used to seeing the price of anything go up 60%, 70% or higher. It's that crazy spike in the price that's hurting everyone right now. If it was slow and gradual, maybe it would be like boiling the frog slowly. But the skyrocketing takeoff is what's causing the panic at the pump. So what should you do? Here are a few quick tips. Number one, find out about opening a gas rewards credit card sometime, out there. You can get money back or maybe a few pennies off the price of the pump if you are a loyal member. I've seen some that's a dime off here and there. So that's one thing. Number two, try not to fill up on Thursdays. I don't know why. For some reason, it seems to be more expensive then. Weekends too. Those aren't much better. Number three, buy gas at warehouse clubs. Costco, for example. I've seen much lower prices at some of those warehouse clubs. Number four, use apps like Gas Buddy. They can tell you all of the places around you and what the price of gas is at each station, so you can find the cheapest place to go. Number five, plan for unnatural increases in things in the future, like this. Don't think that you can live in the future on the same dime that you can live on today. We are learning firsthand that it costs a lot more to live over time than right now. You have to prepare for it. You have to plan for inflation so that you can maintain your lifestyle. So just make sure that you are accounting for increasing prices into your financial plan. That is ultimately one of the most important keys that you can factor in. Again, if you were working for a company and when you were working for that company, you decided you never got a pay increase, so you worked that company for 30 years and you not get a pay increase, you would be mad. Look at retirement. It's like 20 to 30 years of unemployment. So for those 20 or 30 years, you're living on the same dime that you had the day you retired. That can be hard to handle. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh, Nick, in the future, I'm actually going to be spending less. From day in and day out, being in this business for 21 years, very rarely do we ever get a call saying, Nick, I need to cut my income. People are calling saying I need to keep my income or increase my income. So that's just not the reality of it. Usually what ends up happening is when we want to cut expenses, a new expense pops into the picture that we have to pay for. And that's not a good thing either. So just keep that in mind. When you're going to the pump, there are some expectations on what the future might be and what our expectations are. But you also have to plan for these things, whether it's gas or the price of chips in the future. I don't really know what. You have to plan for increasing income to counter increasing expenses, whether it's from gas or any of those types of things. And so you can always go to our website. onthemoneyshow.com is our radio website. You can also go to our company website, group10financial.com. Lots of free information there. We have our blog there. Again, you can go to our YouTube channel right here, subscribe, and there's lots of information. Our Facebook pages every week. There's more information being put there. We want to make sure that you have as much content as possible so that you can stay in the know, because what you don't want to do is turn on the news and listen to what they're saying about it and listen to the talking heads argue and not give you really the unbiased information that you do need to make educated decisions. So again, those are some great resources, and everything is in the link below me that you can click on everything to help you get to and through retirement and get through these rough patches that we're having in our country, from inflation, interest rates, stock market volatility. So until our next video, take care everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.